Alrighty, hello and good friggin' afternoon. So, time for a weird run. Very weird run. Well, let's go ahead and get this started. Long story short, this is something that I started wondering about when doing the speed runs a little bit ago. And yeah, basically wanted to know if it was actually possible to get through this entire game with, well, just your fists, never using an actual proper weapon. And I think it might be possible. There we go, let's get Mr. Huge. What day is it today? There we go, that sounds about right. Ultimately, ended up abandoning that speedrun route, for now anyway. Basically, in order to make that work, it can potentially be faster than the current route, but it's a situation where you'd kind of have to manipulate a bunch of things, so long story short, that's not going to happen very easily. Alright, let's go sacrifice here. And we're actually going to go about this a little bit differently than you might expect. We're actually going to start the fist run without a fist. So, first things first, we're going to go Belief here instead of Longevity. Longevity gives you Fist Fight, which is actually relatively easy to get at the very beginning. The long and short of it, it's... here, let's go ahead and go for... I'm gonna think about that actually screws up my... Okay, this might screw up my score, now that I think about it. No. Oh god, no, I broke it! There we go. Let me double check something real quick here. Essentially, there's a score at the very start, and you need a specific amount in order to get your strength bonus at the very start. So that's always fun. Let's go ahead and double check that sucker right now. But yeah, if you ever needed all the information you would ever need on this game, just tacticsogre.com. It's like, it has everything on there. But let's see here. We need a score of 6 here. So for the fortune teller here, we went for... I believe I went for a sacrifice, which is a +1. Belief is a -1. That starts you off with a miracle, but kind of puts you down everywhere else. So we need either Strife or Wisdom. I think we're going to go Wisdom. Let's see. Wisdom... Wisdom, Victory, Terror, Glory. There we go. Yeah, never mashed through this part. So this should make us either... let's see, it'll probably leave us at either chaotic or neutral. Ship would feature Glory. This feels like a glorious way to go about things. Alright, away we go. Hello there, Mr. Procow. How are things? Still choking out those puppies with a octopus, I see. And yes, we have bridges. The bridges finally showed up. Now, despite the fact that this is a solo run, there is one part, specifically 2 battles at the very end, that actually will still have a character in them. Namely Eleanor, and she'll actually get a little bit of training before then as well. Technically it doesn't count as a fight, so whatever, but she'll get a little bit of training as well in order to make sure that she can actually survive. If you go in completely untrained, she's basically coming in with about the same stats that Lens does, since, you know, she's supposed to be like the Lady Him, which actually would have been interesting to see this game from 2 perspectives, like whether you start off as Eleanor or Lance and then you just have different routes. Like, say you have Eleanor going in and hanging out with the mermaids early on or something. Although it kind of would have gone with the whole... well, the conflicting with the whole her running away from home kind of thing. Anywho. Moving on here. So yeah, we'll see how this works. I think it's possible. It seems realistic at any rate. I'm going to leave it at this speed. Personally, I think 1.5 is kind of the ideal way to play Night of Lodis. It's just the base game speed is really, really low. It's just got a lot of stuff that it has to check for, I assume. Typically, as far as the GBA game goes, it's really actually got a lot going on graphically. I mean, they really put in the work for this one. Yes, yes, yeah. Boats are great. Boats are nifty. Moving on. Josh B from Lodis. Yeah, probably. Friggin' worst raid anyone's ever seen. Like, hey guys, I thought I'd just let you know that we're here, and also we're raiding you. I mean, how kind of him. Way to announce your plans, dingus. And yeah, if this works out, at some point we're gonna have to figure out a way to do a short bow only run. Now that I think about it. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and suspend it, why not? Continue the game. No! Sorry, my controls are all jacked up. Because I have to redo them every single time, because that's what... No! This is what VGBA does. Okay. Good options here, that's fine. We can go ahead and make that all fast-like. Make this all fast-like. Off, 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 off. We don't need any of this nonsense. There we go. Speed this up as much as possible. First things first. Punch Richter. Or, you know, cut him real good. Get a little bit of that extra XP, since he's 3 levels higher than Lance is at this point. If you're wondering why the hell I'm calling Mr. Huge Lens, it's, well, he's technically not even called that in his game. But that's who he is. You know, spoilers. If you happen to be somehow unspoiled on one of the most well-known plot twists of a series that is absurdly unheard of, then there you go. Truth be told, as much as the music was really off-putting, like the very first time I heard it, I really like the music in this. It's actually really solid. Like, compositionally speaking, it's really better than it has any right to be. I mean, it sets the tone for all of the game really well. At least a lot better than it has any right to. Also, I should probably be checking if I got those questions right now that I think about it. Because if you got them right, you should have 40 strength on Mr. Huge. Yes! We have the 40. So, yeah, getting those questions right starts you off with a pretty hefty 10 strength bonus. Gives you plus 10 to strength, plus 10 to agility. As far as the stats go in this game, strength, intelligence, and agility are like your 3 main ones. MP and HP get used for some things, mostly HP, or mostly MP rather. And then you've got your morale and all that kind of thing. It's okay, just goddamn surprised you didn't call this one One Punch Man. No, this is the huge run. This is the Lord of Fist Mountain. I could have called it One Punch Man, but Lord of Fist Mountain, man. But yeah, so long story short, strength always will determine your damage given and taken. Defense generally does a bigger effect on that, but either way. Strength is mostly your damage, intelligence is mostly your magical resistance and damage, and then agility is your accuracy and dodge. So they made everything all nice and simple. One of the few times where something was simplified, and it actually helped the game out pretty tremendously, because it basically meant that they could rubber band a lot of the stats in the game to be where they wanted them to be, and stuff generally wouldn't get too crazy. That's why, for example, during the fairy run, the only way I could get the fairy to do respectable damage was essentially stacking 3 maxed out character stats together, plus all of the emblems, plus a few other stat boosting items on top of it, and even though they became functionally immortal, they still barely did more damage than, you know, Alphonse would normally at that point. So, it's nice. Now, if I can pick up self-preservation here, that'd be ideal. Again, for the Fist run, we didn't start with a Fist emblem, because we'll be buying a fairy at the very first town, and punching it in the back of the head repeatedly. And we'll go ahead and kind of leave the auto-training going when that happens, in order to make sure that A, he gets the Fist emblem, B, he might get self-preservation, and C, you know, maybe other good stuff will happen in the process, who knows. Point being, fairies kind of suck. They're just not very good. Later on in the game, yeah, they can pull off some shenanigans, but for the time being, no, kind of garbage. Which means that you can do some pretty absurd damage to them. And in fact, with the fist fight emblem, not like, let's see, on fairies, by the third fight, you can do about 200 damage to a fairy, which is how I use it to get Berserk. Now, even though I routed in Berserk, it technically isn't really needed for stuff. It's really the War God emblem you get from doing that. Okay, he just killed himself. Ah! Oh, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Okay, nobody finish him off, please. I want to get that XP. Perfect. Besides, as far as the whole One Punch Man thing, I should probably point out that yeah, he won't be he won't be one-shotting things for very long. He's gonna drop off pretty significantly, especially around Chapter 2. That's why that route generally went back to the regular world record route when I was trying to show it off. And there we go, get that XP. And we're done here. The death cries sound a little bit hilarious in this one, but okay. So we're going to do same setup as last time. We're going to try to pick up all those emblems early, going to do it in fast forward so that we aren't doing this for a million years. Still, you know, Ironman rules and all that kind of thing, but we don't have to go as fast, so that's fine. I've yet to be successful in convincing a remix artist to actually cover the music from this game. One of these days I'll succeed. One of these days. How's the audio, by the way, guys? Decent, acceptable, utter garbage, etc. Oh, and also, on top of other things, due to a video project that I was doing a little, well, kind of getting started on, still working on at this point, do you guys want to do the whole, like, facey dealy? Like, is it worth the effort? Hell if I know. I've been told that if I can, I should go do it. Okay, acceptable sound? Gotcha. But yeah, I've been told on multiple occasions I should try doing that, and figure, hey, if I'm already doing that for work, why not? Just essentially would keep the thing off whenever the kids were around in the morning, so that would be kind of like a half the time kind of thing. I don't know. Supposedly people like that sort of thingy. It essentially would be the same process, except a tired-looking dude with a beard on there. Yeah, like the whole camera thing, exactly. Alright. Can't do anything just yet. Let's go to Skabellum. Scabellum. And actually, since we're doing it this way, we might even pick up the Dragon Shield. Because technically speaking, at this point, even though we technically can't attack, you know, with it, well, we can't use a fist attack using the Dragon Shield. We can still counter with one, so that's probably worth doing. So go for it. Doesn't make a difference, but others seem to prefer it. Orky dorky! Still gotta do the whole green screen type shenanigans. Let's go ahead and knock this guy back. This isn't necessarily optimal, but whatever. I'm just trying to get the Mullen kill as early as possible. It's mostly just to make sure that that guy doesn't get a successful counterattack off. Because you can get a little bit dicey in terms of your health otherwise. Perfect. He left the gap. World's slowest spellcaster because she has time to explain all that whole spiel before doing anything. And successfully missed, too. Interestingly enough, by the way, despite the fact that he says that they're too much for you, if you actually calculate up the numbers, they could absolutely take these guys no problem. It actually would have been interesting if you got some different message if you managed to beat this fight with just the two of them. Like if you were just automatically locked to the A route or something. Alright, come on. Like, I'd say the odds of getting self-preservation this early in the game, probably about 15-20%, as far as my practice runs went. Something like that. Then again, if I'm doing the whole camera thing, I have to get used to not moving around like a spaz the entire time. Thinky thoughts. Whatever, we'll see, we'll see. Wow. Everybody's accuracy is hot garbage today. Perfect, okay. That would mean that there is a somewhere between 40 and 60% chance we're about to get self-preservation. Come on, do it. Yes! So that is about 25, or actually, I think it's like 20% extra damage on counterattacks. Actually, wait. Well, it was 35, it added 7 to it, so whatever that would be. That would be about 20%. The only downside to this run, we're probably... Yeah, Vanna's gonna have to get killed off and or fired somehow before the Astoria fight. If you didn't know, if you don't have 2 teams to deploy in Astoria, you will, well, you basically can't do it. Like, you'll just wind up in a situation where you're basically soft-locked. So either you have to deploy everybody on one side, which it'll still demand that you leave somebody for the other side, or, if you do it solo, you can just, you know, all go in on one side. Or rather, if you have less than 8, you're fine. If you have more than 8, you're not. There we go. There we go, sorry. Getting all mixed up and confused and stuff. Feeling real good, though. So, my wife had made some homemade hummus stuff. Apparently she wasn't a huge fan of it, but man, this stuff is delicious. I just had a crap load. Then she comes up with this bag of crackers, like, these crackers don't taste very good. You want them? I'm like, okay. They're food, and they can go in my face. Oh, no, wait a minute. Oh, I didn't get all the questions. Actually, no, wait, I did get all the questions right. I already confirmed the stats. I just haven't gotten my healing seeds yet. Every time I don't see healing seeds, I think I got the questions wrong. But technically speaking, you don't get your team and your extra items until you get to the next area. Or rather, until after this fight. Which, again, is a nice touch. Personally, between the intros of the original SNES version, the PSP version, and this one I'd say still has the strongest overall like introduction to your team, as it were. Because they're just like, okay, here's your commander guys, like, okay, here's these dudes, you know, here's your equipment, based off your preferences, you know, you get 1 extra item, get a few extra healing items, and okay, there you go. It's like, for example, in this route, the quote-unquote warrior route, you basically wind up with a longsword a couple fights early. You wind up with some extra healing items, and you wind up with better attack stats. With some of the other ones, you can wind up with some casting items, MP healing items, that sort of thing. It's just more or less whether you're going for the speedy, the strong, or the casty type. Which works out well with the way that they handle the stats in this. Now, unlike many other routes, instead of going for speed, we're actually going to go for outright tankiness. Okay, so we got the team. Solea. Come on, tell me we rolled fairies. Yes! Say hello to Punching Bag. Or Putchig BG. Close enough. Close enough, that works. What about this? Just a B and a G, and bam. That'll work. So yeah, 15 strength, really high agility, kind of okay intelligence, absolutely god-awful defense. They have the lowest defense in the game. Which is why we're gonna go get Fist Punch off them. Yes, it's called Fist Fight. Fist Punch just sounds funnier. Now, interesting thing, which we're actually going to do immediately after this, is you can actually use the ninja to get a really good item early on. Actually, you can in these first couple maps, there's a lot that you can get early on. So, by the way, AI in this somehow better than the PSP version. A, they don't have to sacrifice a turn in order to turn the AI on. B, they actually seem to have some decent idea of what they're trying to do. Okay, so what I'm getting at here, as far as the items go, you see that little shrub at the very top of the map right now? To the right of it is a grass tile. If you set that tile on fire, whether you throw a fireball at it, use Firestorm, whatever you want, you basically will, you'll be able to walk onto some dirt on there and pick up an item underneath it. That's actually the one where I was considering routing in a composite crossbow, because basically you can get endgame weapons, you can get an orb, you can get all kinds of stuff from that tile. That's the only one before Chapter 2, as far as, no, actually I believe there's one in Arena as well, but before Chapter 2, that's your big one. And the thing is, there's basically 3 sets of items, so if your day is going crappy, you're going to get the crappy items. If your day is going medium, you're going to get the medium items. If you're having an awesome day, you're going to get the awesome items. There's some overlap between what they all do, but generally speaking, like the group 3s, as they're called, are like the super rare crap. And so, yeah, one of them's right there. So yeah, the funny part is, I knew that I had gotten a composite crossbow there once. Couldn't figure out how, though, because I went through all the tiles, couldn't really figure it out, and turns out you can do it. If you didn't know, composite crossbow is the best crossbow in the game. There's only 2 types. That one is, well, I mean, it's pretty good. It's essentially a claymore, but ranged. But it's not like mind-blowing in terms of damage, but early in the game it can really be overpowering. The reason why it would be significant, you may be wondering, like, you've already got a friggin' punch that can hit way harder than that thing, why are you carrying? Because technically, if you're doing like a solo punch route at the very start of it, or if you're doing like a solo speedrun route, you'd be in a position where you can actually pick up either Dragoon or Swordmaster early, if you specifically want the B route. There we go, fist fight. So suddenly he punches like a beast. So now we can go back there, just see what kind of item we get. Oh, for God's sake, all these spam calls coming in. Like, hey, would you like to refinance all these cars you totally don't have? Sure glad I have a charger somewhere, apparently. Alright, so let's just go see what we get. Now, you may be wondering, like, okay, or you may be thinking, okay, what if you were just setting up your birthday or something, you know, you knew exactly what day to go and make sure that you had a good day going onto that tile. Here's the stupid part. Nobody apparently knows how to tell what birthday what his starting quote-unquote biorhythm is. Like, if you think of it, it's like a whole up and down scale. Like, everybody's got a unique thing where they go up and down based off intensity, longevity, a bunch of other stuff. Just basically, just think of a wavelength, and just that is their luck. Their luck varies a whole bunch based on just the weather, the time of day, their personal stuff, etc. Once you know what it is, you can predict it. But to actually figure it out requires like several paragraphs worth of math. To the point where I was just looking at that whole thing and I just got a headache. I'm like, no. Just no. So for meditations, your actions may be inefficient. Why not lend others a hand? So we gotta go for a few battles or something if we want to change that. Now then, in Scabellum, we have a pretty good thing, but whatever. For now, we'll just hop into training. Go to Team B. Mr. not Shivan, but Kamui. Okay, I'll make this one manual. Go ahead and start the fight. Now, technically speaking, with your starting team being how it is, you can probably have a pretty good chance of rolling somebody that would be having a good day. Like, let's see right here. Prosperity, never give up, you will regain momentum. Okay, well, that's still probably not very good. You only get a vague hint as far as what they get. So I'm going to move him over here for the time being, because I need him to be within range to throw a fireball at that thing, and then I need him to hopefully be able to go pick the thing up before Alphonse comes and punches his head clean off. So I guess I should probably just wait then. There we go, let's blow that thing away. Alright, let's see what we get. Alright, healing salve. Whatever, that's alright. It's basically, I think it's like a 250 heal or something. 150, whatever. It's all good. I'm gonna go ahead and use this Stone of Swiftness on him. Get a little bit more agility. Oh yeah, so I was getting at why that composite crossbow would have been useful. Basically, it would allow for the river fight later on. Yeah, look at that. Friggin' 103. Don Quixote! Yeah, the river fight that's coming up later on, it would allow him to chase down the fairies much easier, for one thing, while still doing fist damage to all the other characters that are on melee range. On top of that, it would allow him to get the Sniper Emblem, which boosts your agility by 10, and if you look at all the stats here, he needs roughly about 100 to get either Swordmaster or Dragoon. They're very similar. Dragoon gives you 1 extra strength per level, Swordmaster gets a lot more movement and 1 extra agility per level. But either way, for the time being, I'm just leaving him as a Soldier Man's. In fact, let me double check these strength numbers real quick, because I believe Beastmaster actually may get 1 extra. Let me double check. We're gonna maximize our strength gains as much as possible here. Why are you being silent? Please tell me you didn't just crash. Oh no, you better not have just crashed. Okay, well, either way. Let's see. 4 for Soldier, 4 for Ninja. The soldiers aren't very good, huh? 4 for Archer, really? They all match, huh? Well, Knights are pretty alright, and yeah, it's 1 extra for Beastmasters. So, no cash. You, how you doing there, buddy? Oh god, why? Okay, fixed it. It's very loud, though. Okay. I knew I always made him a Beastmaster for a reason. Alright, so nothing else that we need for the time being. Let's go ahead and save it. Save the huge. Then over here, we're going to go for 1 more training session. For 2 things. Well, first off, punching bags are going to go over here, and they're going to get their head punched clean off. Meanwhile, Mr. Kamui is going to go pick up a sweet shield. Now, that shield is one of the best in the game. Basically just massive bonuses and all that goodness. As you'd want from a shield. Alright, let's do a little bit of science, because I can't remember if the one-shot kill actually counts in training mode. If it does, then we have it right here. Because yeah, he can already punch 174. We're off to a good start. And yeah, it looks like we get Berserk. You don't get War God. Okay, so we will... we're gonna have to... That's fine. In the next fight, we'll pick up War God. Or no, I think it's above 200. Yeah, you need above 200 for War God. Let me double check. Yeah, killed 1 strike. So, changes effects and luck. This basically means that you get a +10 to your biorhythm. So, unlike what I thought it meant before, it actually means that you you hang on to your luck for a little bit longer. Alright. Got the dragon shield. Go ahead and just end this. And away we go. Yes. Now then, due to the fact that we'd end up losing a hell of a lot of health if I went and tried to do it just normally, the way we're going to set this up is Ivana's going to get left to her own devices to go distract most of the team. Lance is going to go run off and to just go punch all the archers, basically, so that he's not harassed by them later, which will then allow him to just counterfight everything, which is pretty handy. Also, this is a nice little excuse to pick up the glass pumpkin there, which is a pretty massive defense boost while preventing movement. It's not really preventing movement, it's just really heavy. So it usually puts you down one movement range for about the cost of doubling your defense. The only one of the horn guys that ever uses a bow. There we go. So he goes over here. This tree will screw up their movement a little bit, so you can go get a bunch of punches off here. As long as Ivana doesn't get any kills on the map, you can get Centurion at this point. It's the easiest map to get it on. It just basically means that he'll get an extra level up. Plus he gets Market... Or no, wait. Centurion, Improved Strength. Mark of the Elite is the extra level up. And that's for 2 or less in a fight, I believe. Every Tactics Ogre game, they always start off with the whole like short bow and an axe and everything else. Makes you think that's going to be such a long-term thing, and then it isn't. Like, I would say probably the SNES version, well, SNES/PS1 version, and then maybe... Well, and then One Vision, probably. It's funny, because it could not have been less of a thing in the PSP remake, for the most part. Ponch. That should be a level. And from there, he can go ahead and heal up. So they pile on her. Once they get 5 attacks in, she's going to start concentrating exclusively on healing, but they almost always approach her from the perfectly wrong sides. So they all end up taking a ton of damage. They can take 2 counter hits, but you can never risk the 3rd one. Alright, that's fine. It's not a good position for her to be in. Yeah. If I go ahead and attack here, she'll probably heal him instead. Nirvana, you terrible person, what are you doing? Don't do that. Okay, got life. Perfect. Okay, what's their health situation? Okay, they're alright for the moment. I'm gonna go over here. Give himself a little bit of a health boost. Put him right here because it lets him go either forward or backwards, depending on what we need him to do. Ah, come on. Yeah, that's fine. Yes, I know, I'm rooting for the wrong side here, but it is what it is. Now, if she gets kills off on any of them, that screws up the setup. In fact, I should probably go ahead and suspend data there. We're doing the whole Ironman thing. So instead of suspending, I think what I'm going to do is if she ends up getting one of the kills off here, then instead... Oh, come on, stop healing yourself! What about me? Trying to stay at low health so you'll actually try and help out. Alright. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Yeah, no, he'd get blocked off. Let's just go for the free hit then. Yeah, but that's risky, because then if they all decide to pile on him... Alright, whatever, we're just gonna move right here. A little bit risky, but we'll do it. Bad of honor. Okay, so he's down to 25 health. Down. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Now, if all goes well, she should hopefully heal him. Yes, okay. Because, yeah, he's considered critical. Now we can go kill off that one on the right. Punch his head clean off. Bump. Goodbye. With any luck, she'll pick up whatever item he was carrying. This is, again, why I don't just immediately go bum rushing for her to, you know, verify that whole solo thing. Because she's kind of annoying to have around, but either way, this is kind of the most convenient way to do it, I think. Okay, there we go. This is F36. First off, can you finish this? Sure can. Okay, good. One of those has a sword emblem on him. Should have been... I think that one that's off by the tree there. That agility bonus. I want it. But we can't have it just yet. Sneaky, sneaky. She knows if I go and I counter it, or go and hit her, the counter attack would be fatal. Rude. Just plain rude. There's that sword emblem. So, at this point is when it's going to start becoming clear why I picked up the emblem that I did at the very start rather than the fist fight, because Miracle is a lot harder to get. Now, in order to pick up that one, you need to survive a hit while you have 10 or less health, which, I mean, it's just pure luck. So unfortunately, this is probably the easiest fight to get it on because you've got a lot of short bow users that can potentially have really sucky damage. So if you just come in with like a dragon shield or something like that, you can potentially survive it. Downside is that, yeah, they've got pretty high agility, so as soon as they get their emblems, they probably won't miss anymore. It can be a little bit of a problem. Let's see if we can finish her off. Fine, fine, you just keep hitting me then. Oops. Kind of smacking stuff with my coffee mug. Alright, whatever. She's out of the fight enough. Okay, let's go for this one then. Ouch. Oh, rude. That was like a 12% dodge. But yeah, once we pick up Centurion, the fights go much faster. Will she heal or will she attack? Don't want to risk it. I know it seems dumb, but again, the entire setup's ruined if she ends up getting even one of them. So I'd rather guarantee that she's not attacking rather than anything else. Like, the ideal here is that she decides, hey, you know, I'm injured, I'm gonna go backwards, I'm gonna go run away and heal. Then we try for that punch again, so that when we have her 2 turns in a row, you know, we can actually get the unit that we wanted. Like that. Because if she was at full health, she might suddenly decide to attack instead. And there's no bueno. Ouch. Alright, so now we have Night. Or at least we should have Night pretty soon here. We might have to wait till after for Mido. And Night is probably where we're going to end up sticking with for quite a while. We're going to pick up one random fight. Actually, probably not even a random fight. I'm probably just going to go into training, fire a bow 5 times, and, you know, get the sniper emblem. So that'll give him an agility bonus, make him into a knight, then he'll keep getting strength bonuses, though his agility will kind of suck. By the time that he's able to get fully into Route B, we should be seeing a thing where he can become a dragoon. So we'll see. You know you want to heal. Good job. Good job. Look at you being all helpful. And now time to get punched for your efforts. Good job. There's that Miracle emblem happening. So Miracle will give you an extra 20 to 50% damage, depending on your circumstances. Sometimes even more than that. Typically, it's 20% bonus damage plus a knockback. It goes up to 50% or higher if they run into an obstacle, and then it can potentially go up to like a one-shot if you can punch somebody off stuff. Specifically walls later on. Like, the quickest way to deal with Asturia, as far as I'm concerned, is just basically run up to Night Chart and just punch them off. You know, props to Ivana here. She's probably the most understanding person ever. It's like, here's this random friggin' invader that showed up on your shores. They're like, no, I'm sure they're a good person. You get them nursed back to health, find their friends, you know. Then they basically say, oh yeah, we're gonna go help take over your island. Well, okay, fine. I guess we'll help you out. You know, maybe I've got some stake in it. Still, despite all that... Oh, that's actually risky. Alright. We're gonna go this way. Hopefully Ivana will get focused on here. But yeah, then even after all that, she's gonna offer to join up after getting punched in the head repeatedly. If you're curious, by the way, she can't get killed off in this fight. Even if you do manage to beat her, she'll just come back. And she'll be surprisingly okay with it, because there's no logical, normal way that would have happened. She would have had to either be completely left to the wolves or betrayed. But, you know, ever the understanding person here. Right, we go here. This ideally should corral this unit go into the right. We'll see. Good. She's actually a bit of an unfortunate troll. She always tends to run off to the left there and do nothing. I don't know whether she's trying to run away or what, but it's just kind of her shtick. Also, it's definitely your first introduction to the fact that archers just aren't very good. That's why I did a, well, I've done archer only and I've done soldier only before, both of which are just absolutely trash in this one. Like, they're pretty much tied for second worst strength growth while basically having nothing else going on. Perfect. This is exactly what I wanted to see. So he'll run up. About 90% chance to nail all these shots. Next round, Ivana will be out of range, but she will be within range to run up and heal, because they will more than likely target him. That's fine. And then from then on, he can just finish off the leader, and that's fine. I believe that one would have been a healing item. Or a healing leaf. Yeah, there we go. It'll be worth it, I promise. I know it's a little bit of a slog to start off with. It'll be worth it. Now, out of curiosity, have you guys done any challenge runs of this series? Like, whatsoever? And if so, what was your first one that you liked? Alright, so we're gonna do this. She's gonna take a shot at him. If Ivana attacks and doesn't get a crit, then we should be all fine and dandy here. Ah, she can't reach. That's fine. Okay, need to punch Ivana, make sure that she's behind the turn or has a reason to heal. Because she needs to have a reason to back off and heal 2 turns in a row. Or like that, she's out of range, so I'm gonna go ahead and go for the punch. Go for the punch. Yeah, she'll heal. She'll more than likely heal because he's gonna get knocked to. Oh, never mind. Who cares? It's a kill anyway. That's because I believe that's because he got a little bit of a bonus there. There you go, mark it elite and Centurion. That allows you to get War God. That's good times. Good times. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Lots and lots of chatting, lots and lots of talking. I'm sorry, but no. Bye. Now, another thing I like about this game more than Let Us Climb Together, there's a lot more options for turning away units, and they make more sense. Like, from a narrative perspective, anyway. Anyway. Where's Knight? Supposed to have Knight. Oh well, whatever, we're Beast Tamer for now. Alright, so we got Mito next. Might as well just go into training here. I'm not set up. Typically, the way I was doing it, I was using, I believe it was using a water tile specifically to get the few extra points of damage to make this happen. But literally, all we need is 200 damage, I believe. So they got to be opposing elements. They got to be on opposing tiles, ideally. Or she's getting a minus. Is there anything here that's going to give her a minus? I don't think there's anything in it that's going to work that. Alright, that'll give him a bonus anyway. Okay, we need to get to that dirt. Get to the dirt! Throw the Crown of Intellect on there just for good measure. Doesn't really do anything for now, but it's there. There we go. She gets minus, he gets a bonus. Good times for all. Except not for her. She's about to be just turned into a complete paste. More God! Plus side, she doesn't get sacrificed. In the in the speedrun route I was talking about, she basically just gets sacrificed right there. Or she gets sacrificed at Mito. Just walk on two particular tiles, it puts the damage just above 200, which then allows them to one-shot the cleric in this fight. And then the very last one to pick up is Blood Rain, which we don't necessarily need that much. Its effect was a lot less than I was hoping for when I was routing stuff out. Alright, depending on how this battle goes, there's 3 items you can pick up, or rather 3 that are convenient to pick up. There's a fan at the very top of the wall, there is a thing right by the stairs there, that's a Group 2 item, another Group 2 item down in the water. Ideally the 2 Group 2s are the ones to pick up. But if you want a fan, I mean, there's a fan. It's not like you'd have a siren this early anyway, but whatever. It's weirdly relaxing. Does twice as much damage as the boss. Good. Got the Healing Seed. So Healing Seed's one of the items you can get there. You can also get spears and stuff. Wouldn't be terribly useful in this run. But hey, healing items are always good. You can also pick up some stat boosting items sometimes as well. So any that I remember, I'm gonna go give a little bit of a stop to. Because if I can get an extra sword emblem or something like that from one of the Group 3s, that'd be great. This music's interesting when sped up. I like it. Perfect. Alright. Hopefully we'll be alright. I don't think the wizard's going to be within range to join in the... Hopefully he won't be. So you might be thinking, hey, you do 40 damage, they can heal 50. How are you planning to do this? Because right now we're not actually trying to get him. I'm actually trying to bait his other guys into running up and healing him, and/or having him heal himself. Which will then allow him to be stuck down here while I can use the elevation bonus to circle around the wall and go after his healer. Otherwise, he's just going to be annoyingly in the way. Okay, he decided not to do that. Fine. Not to mention we can do 100 per turn, so that's always nice. Potentially, anyway. There's one time when I was casually running through this that I actually managed to get the 4% chance to get one of those soldier guys to join. I mean, he died pretty much immediately, but hey, it was amusing. Actually, it's really fun to start off with arbitration. It's probably my favorite way to play this. Just because with arbitration, even if they're only at like half health, you can still have about 20% chance to recruit them. Whereas normally you'd have to get them all the way down to critical, and even then you'd have maybe 4 to 10%. If you were running really high biorhythm, they were running really low biorhythm. You had a elemental difference between them. They were opposite genders, and then you could do it. Then you'd have like 10%. Alright, whatever, if he's not going to give us an opening, we're just going to sit there. Rude. I want that sniper emblem. Perfect. There's our level. The expectation is to get 2 to 3 levels on this fight. Oh dang! Just noticed over the OB64 Discord here. There's a post from the head of the Discord there that just completed a 100 chaos run. Jeez, that must have taken ages. Let's go ahead and punch out this guy. Oh, rude! That doesn't matter. We're set up to take him out anyway. Come on, miss. Perfect. Don't even care about that last one. That is perfectly fine. Okay, so 84. As much as I want to take out that guy above, we're going to go use one more seed. A little bit item intensive, but it'll be worth it. This poor bastard. Like, I'ma do it. Suddenly he just turns to face him and gets a crit. Yeah, the kind of scaling levels of crits would have been real nice in the other games. Like, there's just something that felt really nice about it, because it's a small bonus from the crit itself. But then the circumstances immediately afterwards are generally where you get your actual damage from. Like whether they're falling off a roof, whether they're running into an object, or whatever else, it just feels good. Oh man, that level screwed you over big time. So a quarter of his damage disappeared. Just poof, gone. Then longsword guy goes away. There's more of his overall damage gone. Guy drops a longsword, but we're not going to get it. Because his leader is going to come and pick it up. Unfortunately, in none of the games can you actually pick up those items afterwards. Would have been nice. Would have been nice. Actually, no. Come to think of it, I think in this one, if you kill off the guy that took it, I think you can sometimes still get it. Or was that the SNES one? I think it was this one. Don't remember for sure. Is it? I think it was this one, because yeah, in the SNES one they always pretend it was empty. It's like, oh no, the bag was totally empty, you guys. No, it wasn't. You filthy liar! I would have had an item if I picked it up. But yeah, in this one, I'm pretty certain you can actually still get it if you chase down the one that took it. All right, so we'll go for the healer, or at least chase them off. I'm still wanting to get one more level out of this if I can. Ah, that poor guy would get punched so good. He's over there in the water, taking that massive stat penalty. Come on, punch him off. Yeah, there's nothing in the way. Ah, I gotta. Even if this ends up screwing the run, I gotta. Ah, come on, high crit chance. That was your moment. That was your moment right there. Would have been awesome to punch him off the wall. Come on, miss. Good. $69 health. And yeah, as soon as we punch out the cleric, we basically can just win the fight. Doesn't matter at that point. She's absolutely the only thing keeping them in this. Ouch. Alright, screw it. Might as well just win it. Punches a hole straight through his armor. And we got a sword emblem, so we're all good. And at this point you start getting chronologies. Those are very handy. Basically, if you wanted to, you could just potentially go to one of the ones that have group 3 drops, repeatedly run those over and over, just run up and snipe the leader, do it again and again and again. get infinite stat items if you wanted to, but it's not really that worth it. Blimp, blimp, blimp. And then everybody chats in a nice bath for a while. Nope. I don't think Mr. Vale's here right now, is he? If you happen to be here, Mr. Vale, random question for you. Or if you happen to be seeing this in the future, another random question for you. That particular flooding scene, is it by chance in any way related to a certain other flooding thing I recently read about? In terms of floody basements? Get that agility bonus. We got some chainmail to boost his defense a little bit. And we're actually going to go ahead and get him that heal. And then that way, essentially he's pretty self-sustainable for a while. Like, strength-wise, right, currently, however little sense his current build makes, he has more than enough strength for any class in the game already. And we're barely a couple fights in the game. Alright, so now cutscene time. So if we wanted to, there are two versions of the Glycinia fight that we can have at this point. If you take the B route, you're kind of forced into taking one, in the caves later. If we go the A route, you can save it for much later and get some better items, but we're not going to do that. Alright. Before moving on, though, I need to get this guy a few more points. So I'm going to pick this thing up. He's going to go right there. Team B is going to consist of absolutely everybody else. They're all coming in to get one-shotted, ideally. Since this isn't the PSP version, they probably won't get one-shotted. Most of them will probably still survive a hit or two. But that's fine. All we need is for him to get 5 hits in a row. There we go. Nice little firing line for him. Poor Alos and Floros will never actually get to shine this run. It's a shame. I always like those guys. Like, kind of comparing SNES and Knight of Lodis. I don't know. I always preferred Alos and Floros to Sarah and Voltaire. I don't know. It's just Sarah and Voltaire always felt like, hey, you know, they're this guy's people. You know, that they're Leonard's people. Like, whereas in this one, it's like, no, these guys are explicitly assigned to you. They're there from the very start. Their names never change. They're there. The other two, they change, depending on your questions at the very start. Alos and Floros are always there. And it's interesting because the way that they set it up, Richter, when you fight him later, or if you fight him later, he'll have those, he has his own. That he has, I think it's Jonathan and... I want to say Laura? Something like that? Anyway, point being that he has his own too. So it's a nice little nod there, you know? Pew, 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 pew. And there we go. We're done here. As you can see, agility 80, so we're almost able to become a Swordmaster. I believe we need 102 to become a Swordmaster, and then we need, I believe, 96 to become Dragoon. So we're actually going for a Dragoon, ideally. And this should, without grinding, this should be like the highest strength you can actually get. Ouch. It should probably be noted that I can't really change back to Beastmaster after this. It's not like I really need to, but about halfway through the run you end up picking up Beast Slayer just kind of on accident, which basically means you can't become one anymore. It's not actually that big of a problem. Or a problem at all, for that matter. Now, the very best spot to do this is if you go to the very right there. If you see that little grass tile right underneath underneath the rock there, they'll all charge forward, but you can kind of set yourself up in a position where they'll usually land in the water. And that's what you want. You end up doing more damage if they do that. And later on, griffins and other creatures will end up getting all kinds of abilities, but for the time being, they will have nothing going for them. All they can do is run up and hit stuff. Of course, they're pretty, pretty beefy, but still. Oh, wait a minute, I just noticed I screwed up. He's not a water element, he's an earth element. Ah, that's why his damage sucks there. So he's getting a pretty good bonus from the fact that they're in the water and he's not. But he's also getting a pretty hefty penalty because he's standing on a swamp tile. I mean, I guess at the same time they do absolutely piss all for damage. So that's always nice. There's one. All things being ideal, we should get two. Hopefully. Yes. So we should be getting two here. Ouch. Fine. Fine, fine, fine. In fact, just in case it's the sword emblem for this one, I'm gonna go ahead and have him hop up on that land tile. So he still heals a decent amount. His healing will... that's not the one I wanted. His healing is generally going to suck because he, when you pick up War God, you end up getting a massive penalty to your intelligence. You like more than double your strength, but then you end up getting about half as far as intelligence goes. It's still pretty handy in terms of saving money in the long run, though. Now, in kind of the keeping with the spirit of things, unless I pick up an orb, I'm not going to go for the secret orb shop or anything. Just because he has to punch his way to victory. I mean, Eleanor will give him one. So there's one. Just go ahead and heal. So if all goes well, here's kind of how this goes. After this fight, after this fight we have the ninja fight. At which point he should be able to pick up Blood Rain at that point. Actually, we're a little bit behind. But still might be able to do it. So that'll give that morale debuff to enemies nearby. From there, in the following fight with what's his face? Orson, there we go. In the fight with Orson, we'll end up getting 4 of the dragons that we need for the whole Dragoon thing. Funny enough, you actually, if you're following the story and not doing any grind fights, I'm not sure if you can find any more dragons elsewhere, but when you fight the Dragoons, when you unlock the Dragoon. So right after the Celia fight, we end up getting Dragoon, end up switching him over to it. And his punches actually do more than, like, the Fafnir that you get from that fight can do about 45 to a Hellhound. His punches will do about 50. So even with the anti-beast bonus, the sword bonus, and everything else, he would still end up doing more damage with his punches. Up to that point. It's in Chapter 2 that he starts dropping off like a rock. So hopefully it doesn't go too badly. It's going to start getting all strategic and crap. The downside of him being a knight, though, is chasing down those fairies is going to take forever. They will literally just keep running and running and running and running. And very rarely did they let you get close to any degree. In fact, you may notice, got a little bit lucky here. Because that last level up, there was agility just at the point that he puts his movement at 5 tiles. So he can just keep up with one of them. Just though. So they can be cornered at least. Why we can't just leave them alone, I don't know. They don't seem interested in actually participating. They don't seem like an active threat, but you can't leave them alone for some reason. Oh, you know what? I just noticed I misspoke. I completely left out the swamp fight. You know what? Ignore what I said earlier. You absolutely can get your goon earlier. I'm just an idiot. Alright, just stop dodging, take your punches, and then we can move on with our day. I mean, you won't, because you'll be in the ground, but you get my point. Eventually, we will just be able to move past this whole sitting around doing nothing thing. Good. And there's Embodiment of Desires. So the funny part is, Embodiment of Desires doesn't directly give you a bonus to your treasure discovery or anything. It's basically Embodiment, Miracle, what's it? I think Relixes and a few other emblems that combined will decide what your overall wavelength is as far as luck goes. And yeah, that's just kind of one of them. So Embodiment of Desires will essentially mean that you have a decent chance to stay in the higher range more often, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to go and pick up all the best items all the time. Like, there's so many systems that were in the background that seemed unnecessarily complicated. I mean, somebody really put in the work and apparently put their math PhD to work. Like, I honestly don't understand what they were thinking when they came up with the luck system for this game. It's just, it's so bizarre. It's so bizarre to see so much complication go into it. Like, I don't know if anyone happens to be here that would be able to post the link real quick. Actually, screw it. You know what? All these fairies are doing around is flying around. Let me go find a link to it real quick. It's nuts. It's one of these things you really just got to see it for yourself. Because you may think, like, oh, this guy's just bad at math or whatever, but, like, yes, I am bad at math, but you have no idea how unnecessarily complicated the system is. Here we go. I think this is the one. Yeah, here it is. Like, they have literal, full-on graphs and everything. Alright. Right. Here it is. Just tell me that mess isn't ridiculous. Because you can't, because that mess is ridiculous. It's like unnecessarily complicated, doesn't begin to touch it. You know, let me just go ahead and read an excerpt from this thing for anyone that wouldn't be able to look at it, or is looking at this after the fact. Okay. So, to give credit where credit's due, it is a Terrence Ferguson, actually, that apparently wrote a university paper on this thing, I guess, by the looks of it. You know what? I wouldn't be too surprised if somebody had to analyze this for a university paper. Anywho. So he even puts a little forward in this thing that after an exhaustive amount of research, as I look more into this, I was increasingly surprised at how well the theory has gone into this in this document. Fair warning, this is math intensive. It's not for the casual person, and I make no promises on dumbing down the information. Now, as far as the actual process here, and how he puts it, it's like, it uses biorhythm that is associated to your hidden luck attribute. As such, biorhythm has the following stats: period, offset, attitude, amplitude. Biorhythm's period is how long it takes to repeat itself. It's measured in days. Offset is how many days forward the biorhythm has moved. This is usually to simulate having it started when you were born. It's usually a number between 0 and 364. And let's go ahead and punch another fairy here. Hopefully we actually can catch up to them. Altitude determines the average luck of your value biorhythm is. A high altitude usually gives you high luck even on bad days. Amplitude determines how much good and bad days vary by. A low amplitude means that your luck doesn't change much, and so your good days won't be too good, bad days won't be too bad. High amplitude means the opposite. Luck and your biorhythm are hidden from you, and then there's... what is it here? Like a 9-page, or a 9-section graph going over what each of them will do. Alright, go ahead and use the sword emblem. Doesn't really slow us down any. I hope we'll actually be able to catch them now that I think about it. Okay. So as you can see, the year actually starts on the 25th. Okay, on a particular day, this is the way that they work at biorhythm, so... okay. So I'm trying to find exactly where the formula is. Ah, dang it, swamp. We'll get there eventually. Okay, so... a quick explanation of the mod function is necessary. When you do x mod y, what we're doing is working out the remainder, it's working out what the remainder is when we divide x by y. So 3 mod 2 would be 1, because 3 divided by 2 gives a remainder of... okay, hang on. Need to go punch a bear again. I know, it's taken forever. Alright, so, next we transform our current day value into the luck value, which is a number between 0 and 256. Formula is luck equals day times 256 slash period. If luck is greater than 222, then we subtract 256 from the total. Note that it must be greater than 222. 222.5 would become 33.5, but 222.0 would stay at 222. Okay, so, fine. On the same page so far. Now we look up the luck value in the table. The values are spread out in 4 different states. After all this, we now have a state value which now corresponds to 1 fortune out of a series of 4, but we still don't know which table to look up. Thus we use the final 2 biorhythm stats of altitude and amplitude. Using the following table, we get a table value of, and then like they have all the different values for all the different amplitudes or altitudes or whatever else. Like, it's stupidly complicated to figure it out. Starting to think this fight might not actually be possible. Unless I heal for such a long period of time that we eventually just out-level him and get that extra tile of movement. Also, that math explanation apparently has scared off everybody involved. Okay, there we go. Might have cornered this one, maybe. Ooh, or that one might have gotten too close. Yep, he got too close. Or she. There we go. And that's why they don't want to get close. Why we have to fight them, that's anyone's guess. So we'll just stick right there. One tile too far. Alright, So I'll move him right here. Start using one of these items right here. On the off chance that she decides to take the same spot that the other one did. Can't swat the mosquitoes? Tempting to. We'll get there at some point. I just need them to make a mistake. Come on. Okay, we move here, what are they gonna do? Oh, that might be within range. Just slightly not. Alright, come on. Come to think of it, how is Fly Swatter not an emblem? Okay, come on. There we go. That's progress. Now we can move him right here. It's one tile away from a treasure tile that I want to pick up. And the idea is that hopefully she'll try to go right... Yeah, that's close enough. Okay. I'll do this. Okay, so far so good. I was gonna say they didn't have too many movement areas, or too many movement options. Come on. That might be close enough. Hopefully it is. Yes! Okay, good. And we're done here. Goodbye to your face. Oh, you suck. You suck! Friggin' 30% dodge. Of course it would. Of course it would. Why would I expect any different? Let's see, how do you feel about AT versus single turn tactics? Personally, I'm kind of a bigger fan of turn-based. Like, I like both, but... Okay, I should actually clarify. If, as far as the turn, or as far as active time goes, if it's one of those systems, like, for example, the way that kind of OV not so much dumbed it down, but more like, what's the term even? Like, made it more uniform, that feels really good. Like, wherein you look at something, it's like, okay, I know that this is going to be this speed. Whereas, like, the original PSP version basically had this issue where stuff just had weight values all over the place. So everything was just varying by speed regardless of what their stuff actually looked like. So, like, I mean, with turn stuff, you know when everyone's turn's going to be. With active time, it's just, it all depends entirely on whether or not, you know, you can kind of feel out what the time's going to be. If that makes sense. Because nothing's more frustrating than like, oh, they just friggin' triple turned me for some reason because they went and they stacked all these stats or whatever else. Or some developer decided to give a particular class a, you know, or unit, in that game's case, a friggin' recovery time bonus, and suddenly they're moving way faster than everybody else. Talking about Ozma, by the way. You know, the one that everybody liked, because no, they were totally balanced. They could one-shot the boss, or the final boss of the game, and also happen to recover 2 times faster than anyone else. So they're just standing there in the most heavy equipment that they could carry, and like, nope, sorry, an 8 RT bonus. Finally! Okay. Better not miss this time. Better not miss. Better not even be within range, apparently. Okay. This is the downside of this strategy. It's like being a knight at this point, and especially with a glass pumpkin, because that his movement is about as low as it can be. Right, let's put you right here. See what that does. If they go south, we can partially cut them off. Get a jumping start off this tile. Yeah, it's actually a little bit surprising how much thought went into the movement mechanics of this game. Like if you start off your turn on a land tile, you get an extra turn to jump into the water. If you start in the water, your movement's just lowered. Like, this scenario is honestly something nobody would ever run into. Just because there's no reason you'd be doing this solo. This game is not designed to be played solo. Okay. Best tile I can put you. It's probably right here. Please go for the middle island. Come on. No. That's a bad mosquito. Alright, let's see how much his movement goes up. Stupid fly! Oh, he didn't even get any movement bonus off that one. Only the last one did. Okay, you better not. Okay, he might be able to get the kill off here. Yeah, low odds, but he nailed that one. Finally. La-di-da-di-da, la-di-da-di-da. Okay. So after this we got the ninja fight, then we got the swamp fight. Save the hell out of that. Okay. So we're very, very close to... pretty much by the time we get the emblem, we're going to be able to get Dragoon. Okay. Gonna have to check if there's any random battles I can run into. Go punch out a dragon. His hugeness won't be stopped. I should two-shot everything here, I believe. Don't be too smart, buddy. Kind of a little bit surprised that he blocked it, to be honest. In fact, you know what? I'd be really curious to see if this guy's team would be able to win a fight, or would be able to beat the game. It's like several ninjas, a couple witches, and more ninjas. Actually, just one witch. This team in general. I have to try that at some point. Just like cheat in this team exactly. Random thought came to mind for the SNES speedrun. So, if you didn't know, in the original Lucked, you could actually stack weather effects over and over. Because then you could just stand there just casting influence over and over and over and over and over until you broke the game. I'm trying to think, like, if doing a team of a bunch of casters, I wonder if it would be possible to potentially combine that with a ninja. Like, specifically their whole double attack ability, except... How do I even describe this? Essentially just combining the whole double attack with elemental weapons, combined with a very stacked elemental effect, and say having Denim be that guy, and then just having him just, like, turbo rushing into the center of everything, and just completely dominating everything. Dunno. Give it a try later. Now, more than anything else, she's probably going to be a bit of a problem here, but more than even getting that lettering emblem here, what I want to do is go punch out this witch. I think she's the one that had it. Actually, no, she wasn't. What was the amulet? Or necklace of resist. Okay, so Zoo here. Zoo has to go. Now, if you didn't know, Necklace of Resist makes you completely immune to casters. Like, not resist it, not anything else, just anything spell-wise, 100% immune. No questions asked. So, he's gonna need that. Only thing I'm worried about here is if their leader is able to keep himself alive. I'm hoping he'll go after Alphonse, but you never know. Sometimes he just decides to be a derpus. Like, I swear the guy is an absolute death wish. Like, right there. Quick, let me get myself almost killed off. Yeah, wait. Wait, no. It's alright. So far, so alright. Alright, this is gonna be a little bit risky. Risky on many fronts. Okay, good. She's gonna go for the heal. Hopefully that's enough to keep him alive from Sybil. He's gonna continue harassing her. Good. She should be at about 100 at this point. Okay, that's fine. Don't crit. Good. put this item over here. Go do this. Now the reason we're picking this up is because his healing ability... Oh wait, right, that's not the one with the item at all. So his healing ability is gonna suck. Like, given that he's taken a pretty massive hit to his intelligence and everything. So it was kind of a temporary money saver in order to have him use heal. Also give him a little bit more experience and all that kind of thing. Once we switch over to Dragoon, we're not even going to use that. Come on, go for the... Sure, that's fine. Come on, go to sleep. Didn't go to sleep. They did this little slidey back and forth thing when they're about to go to sleep. Don't kill, don't kill, don't kill, don't kill, don't kill. Should be fine. Okay, there's Zoo. Dead. And that guaranteed drop. I don't really know why they decided to go for cards instead of guaranteed drops. Honestly, this system is just... Crit, please. Oh, crap. Oh, never mind. Never mind, it's fine. I hope it's fine. We might not get the necklace, actually. Because if this guy decides to run around all the way to the side, then we have a problem. Come on, go for Sybil, please. Just use your brain. Douchebag! Come on, please crit this. Please crit it. You suck! That part of the AI has been annoying. Like, no matter what, and I was actually abusing this earlier in the speedrun thing, but no matter what, they will go for your leader. Even if it makes 0 sense for them to do so. Like in this case, they're getting punched for more than half their health. They've got a caster over there that's doing nothing. There's Blood Rain. Oh well. Oh well. Such is life. Freaking Matsukaze. I don't even want it! What is that necklace? Freaking took my sweet bling. Now, I think you can potentially get them from doing the little side questy thing, but as far as the story goes, that's the only time you can get it. You know, guy just casually mentioning friggin' capturing mermaids. Oh, you know, it's just what we do sometimes. But yeah, we're gonna go B route this time. Mostly because we want that Dragoon, and you can get it a little bit faster this way. And normally you'd have Ivana here, but since she's not here, we're gonna have a chat with the fisherman. And this way takes us through Sufferer instead of going through the swamp. So... Yeah, I believe we actually have enough to get Dragoon at this point. Alchemy has a special sprite because he comes in and lets you know. Comes in and lets you know about them mermaids. Because he's got to let you know. You got to be sure that he's a fisherman's. And their nice little dating moment. Actually, skip part of this little side dealy. And of course, you know, I always like to make sure that he and Eleanor get together at the end. It's just nice. It's nice because it just avoids all the problems of the entire series. He never becomes a massive tyrant or anything. He just goes off to live a nice family life. It's nice. A nice and cozy family life. And here's those first 4 dragons. When I grow up, I want to be one of the harvesters of the sea. Well, hopefully by that point, spider crabs would be a bit more popular. I was watching this thing the other day. I was kind of surprised that apparently spider crabs only don't sell because they look scary. Supposedly, anyway. Despite the fact that they're supposed to be healthier, cheaper, and easier to get. I'm like, oh, we can't put it on a poster because it doesn't look like a crab as much as a giant armored monstrosity. Which is kind of a stupid thing for shellfish, because you never see it anyway. I mean, a crab leg already just looks pretty horrifying, at least in the buffet. This, interestingly enough, is the only time that you fight dragons outside of random battles that, well, they only have their single tile mode. They're all expanded up to their 4-tile attack later. Which means you can't counter them anymore. Spider crabs creepy? They are creepy! I mean, they look like giant armored spiders, but hell, if they're apparently delicious and cheap and everything else, no reason not to eat them. I mean, food's food. You ever seen a friggin' pissed off bacon? Armored spider is my go-to when I can't remember what crabs are called. But spider crabs, though! They literally are giant armored spiders. Kind of. I mean, hell, spiders themselves. Pretty useful for making armor, apparently. As in, supposedly, if you make stuff out of spider silk, and like just bullets bounce off or some crap. See, they missed a perfect opportunity with this one, because look at Orson. Like, he's like old man martial artist. He looks like the guy that would have a fist fight emblem. Why does he not have it? This guy's been around the block a few times. Why does he not have fist fight? If anybody makes a mod for this game, I really hope they give Orson fist fight. The guy just needs it. Alright. So the way this goes, he sits here, sits around these walls here. Their vertical movement is kind of trash. So he takes out the 4 dragons. Comes in with piss stats. Yeah, Orson, I mean, he's a basic archer. Even with upgraded stats, he's still awful. But I always tried to use him in the team, you know? I always wanted to give the guy a shot. Just because he's a cool guy. He's like the chill old mentor character. Except for once they don't come in overpowered. He's like the anti-Orlando. Nice. Like, get off my stat items. But yeah, so this setup is really convenient for an early Dragoon, just because you can counter all of them. It's an unpopular opinion, you can't be a Matsuno mentor character if you don't know where the bridges are. Speaking of, Finally! It's there. It finally showed up. That took a while. I don't know how to make a bigger version of that appear, but whatever. If anyone does, feel free to do so. Unfortunately, there's no option for, like, anybody who's not subscribed can go ahead and use this cheap one. And you can just put whatever you want, and it would probably be the one that would be used all the time. But no, it's like this. I should point out, too, of all the characters that Richter had at his disposal, he sends Orson. It's like, I have all these characters that would be better at fighting dragons. Let me send the one that's just like the single worst character for this. Don't know how to make Hugo's icon larger, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. No, we gotta burn that bridge when we get to it. Ah. Whew. What is that stink? Puppy, why do you stink? Ugh. Puppy's over here cleaning his crotch. Smells all gross. That 5 damage though. No idea how we're gonna catch the gremlins. It's a perfectly realistic expectation for the rest of this fight to just be chasing gremlins. Oh, come on. Orson, that's your one thing. It's like his single highest stat is somehow, I think it's actually lower than my lowest. Let's see, 69, not quite. But yeah, no, his stats are insane though. Nice thing is, Lance comes in immune to all status effects. See, chasing gremlins feels like slang for when you inject a bunch of healing waves. That, you know what? That makes sense. Somehow I have a feeling I'm going to find that in the book somewhere, aren't I? I mean, hell, I'm still surprised about that whole ant thing. Like, I guess, on the one hand, it makes a lot of sense, and it's a really utilitarian use of, well, their main function, but, just, dang. It's just crazy, you know? I don't know if I can share stuff without it being considered spoilers or something? I don't know. I doubt it would be. See, the Farrier Gremlin Gangland Warfare genre is an untapped market. Yeah. Except, what, instead of the crypts, it would be the clips, so it would be the ones that have, like, slightly clipped wings just because they feel like being edgy. That could work. Might piss off some very specific people. But then again, what's art without the ability to make somebody mad, huh? Also, I should point out, unlike other games, Lance absolutely has the ability to punch somebody backwards. Gonna be kind of annoyed if Orson gets one of these. Don't you do it. Oh, Oh man, I've got no health left. Oh man, I've got no better healing items either. Can't retreat either. Alright, this one's gonna move first. Hopefully he can dodge it. They shouldn't get breath attacks the second turn. So as long as he dodges this first one, we're golden. Never mind, I think that might be a rip run. Come on, please go after Orson for some reason. Please. Dang it, the last time I did this, I got midway through Chapter 2, come on! Please miss. No, it's 100%, I'm pretty sure. Yep, no, that's Rip Run. Because I didn't pick up any seeds. Well, I guess we technically didn't see him die, he just got a stomachache. I don't know what you're talking about. Alright, whatever. Ignoring the Ironman part then. Because what I was supposed to do was go to the store here. We're going to pick up a bunch of these. You saw nothing. Now, why is it that he ended up taking so much damage, though? It shouldn't have been possible for them to get 2 breath attacks in a row. Actually, no. If it was their 6th round, yeah, that would do it. Eh. Yeah, I needed to move him out of the corner earlier. See, what I like about the Ogre games is the sort of stylized backgrounds and the UI decorations are things like a lion with wings, a griffin without 4 legs holding a sword in its beak. Exactly. There's all kinds of cool stuff. I mean, really, for every one of the settings, they just really, really put in the work. We'll go right here. So you fill in the world with sphinxes. Let's see. Sphinx, a griffin, and a pinsy. These are the fantasy animals of the world. What about a winged lion? That'd be insane. Meanwhile, dragons are... True. Those gremlins are an annoyance. They just go and they put out lemongrass for for all the fairies. Like, oh man, the stupid fairies keep getting in through the window. They keep trying to make out with people. Like, friggin' local news turns on. Like, and meanwhile, local man wound up in the hospital after being forcibly molested by a fairy. Like, I was just trying to make some lemonade, and then they just went through the window, and they're like, no, makeout party. Because Matsuno universes are weird. I might be making the same mistake as last time, but getting to the wall here, but I gotta leave the corner open. I think what I'm thinking of when I was doing this the first time, I let him level a couple times as a ninja to get closer to Swordmaster earlier. If you just stick to Knight the entire time, or if you go Beastmaster and then Knight, you end up getting as much strength as you can actually get throughout the game. So usually by the time you get to 50, you're just completely maxed out. Hey there, it's Thunder. How's it going? How's your day been? But yeah, point being, last time I had him as a ninja for these last couple levels, so A, he wasn't chasing around fairies the entire time, and B, he had the elevation movement to be able to get up there and actually attack those guys. Not feeling so good? Sick or some such? So you haven't slept in 2 days because of the new puppy. I got a new one. Gotta starting all that training and everything. Actually, we're gonna just do the exact same thing here. Because this time I have seeds. Let's see. Old guy, Chihuahua, Paco, passed away about a week ago. Well, yeah, I remember that. Grandma got a puppy Chihuahua. Man, especially training a young Chihuahua, that has got to be, with no offense intended, kind of a nightmare. And this is coming from somebody that has a teething baby, a puppy that keeps chewing everything, and a toddler right now. Oh, Haggard's his name? But he's gonna be yipping at everybody. Yeah, their movement should be relatively crap, so if I put them right here, we should be alright. Basically, I want to set this up that if one of the gremlins decides to come down, we can punch it. Kinda don't like small dogs, but like this one. I wonder if it's actually possible to train a small dog to not bark all the time. It's funny, as much as my wife and I aren't usually big fans of small dogs, we have a pug. I mean, he's slightly less barky than one might expect. Oh, he hasn't yipped once? Oh man. If you have a tiny dog that didn't yip at stuff, that would be amazing. Then you just basically have a porta dog. Ultra was not a single one barked. Weird. I have literally never heard of a chilled out Chihuahua, so that's like finding a dang unicorn. Yeah, I have an aunt that keeps getting these. There's some kind of terrier, I can't remember, but they're like those. They look like slightly fluffier Chihuahuas. But every time we go there, she's trying to convince everybody to get one. Like, no, they totally don't bark in the background, just the entire time. Can't even do the noise right because my throat's all dried out because everything's all dry. Why is it all so dry? Some small dogs are calm, mine is not. Understood. Well, race Chihuahuas, yeah, I seriously didn't even think that was physically possible for them. They just seemed allergic to silence, so that's got to be pretty handy. Hopefully that continues for you. I mean, of course, saying that, we have a lab over here that we train, and he wasn't really much of a barker before, but then as soon as he graduated from his training and everything, he went on to be a career dog for a while, and then he just came back because apparently something didn't work out. And I don't know what happened during this time there, but he's become a massive barker since. So, you know, can't say. I mean, with some dogs, it actually just depends on when they're spayed or neutered. Like, I had one of the dogs we had trained, she was just a massive spaz until she got spayed, then she just calmed right the hell down. Let's see, since we switched to cats, we don't have a barking problem ever. Fair point. But at the same time, then you gotta worry about them knocking stuff off of stuff all the time. Like the amount of times that my wife has been joking about throwing my little kitten runt thing outside just because he went and messed up her puzzle is not even funny. Then on Dragon Quest kick, well, I'm currently on a Dragon Quest punch right here. We're punching out some dragons, as you can see. But trying to do the entire series. You know, truth be told, I actually haven't gotten into the series ever. It seemed interesting. I don't know why I haven't gotten into it, but I was kind of meant to. Let's see, kittens explode, so I'd be worried. Yeah, it's funny that I don't know if anyone was here for it. Wait, what? He had 120. How did he get hit for? Did the gremlins crit? Whatever. We'll call it there for the day then. And then just continue this on tomorrow. But yeah, what the kitten that we were raising, like the ones that we raised from birth there. One of them is apparently just a perma run, so we just have a permanent kitten. Like he should have been fully grown by now. He's just permanent kitten size. It's pretty awesome. See, Hellion Cat is 3 pounds, so she's limited in the amount of trouble she can get into. Fair enough. Recommend starting 4 to 5. Well, that's oddly late into it. Is that how long it took for them to kind of figure out the mechanics? Is there anything else we want to pick up here? Actually, spell-wise, we should probably pick up something. A couple points of strength probably won't make all the difference. But I can use those support abilities as Swordmaster too. Whatever. I'll mull it over. Okay, Dragon Quest 1 to 3 is FF1. More like FF4. Oh! Okay, fair enough. Whatever happened to the mermaid run? Did it end in sushi? No, it's actually right over here. So it's still over here. Somehow we're only level 4 at Vermito, however that happened. But yeah, can't continue that later as well. It basically was just one of those things where a bunch of stuff happened at once, so it didn't happen. So yeah, I think once this one's done, once we do Cow's thing, after that, maybe I want to finish this. Actually, no, then we'll do SNES, and then we'll do this one. Anyway. So I gotta get going then, since I was kind of expecting to do another couple fights, but it's not gonna happen if we have to redo the entire fight there. So I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for stopping by, and yeah, have an awesome one. Take care.